We have previously seen how to factorize expressions such as x squared plus 10x plus 21 using the trinomial method. And this was a slightly easier kind of trinomial to factorize because we have plus signs all the way through. And we get in our answer two expressions that when we multiply them together, we get what we started with. So x plus 3, x plus 7. X squared plus 12x plus 20 is a similar example. In our answer, we get plus signs everywhere. Now, what if we change this slightly and we, instead of having x squared plus 10x plus 21, we had x squared minus 10x plus 21? Well, let's try and do this. We are going to start by writing two pairs of brackets. Now, think again about FOIL. Our first terms need to multiply to the x squared. The only option here is x and x. To get the plus 21, we're going to multiply the last terms. We're going to start laying out the different possibilities in a table, and this will be a method we can use for other examples as well. So I know it has to be two negatives that multiply together to give positive 21, because otherwise we would never get the minus 10x. So the options are minus 1 times minus 21 or minus 3 times minus 7. Now if you were to write all the possibilities, you could write 1 and 21 and 3 and 7. When you get good at this, you may not need to write the table out, you may only write out part of it. We can check each possibility in turn to see if we can get minus 10x. We are going to take one column from each side of the table. On the left, we only can take x and x, that's the only possibility. On the right, we could take minus 1 and minus 21. So we could take those first and see if we can get minus 10x. So if we do x times minus 1, we get minus x, and x times minus 21 would give us minus 21x. Add those together and we get minus 22x. That is not minus 10x, so that doesn't work. Let's try the next one. X times minus 3 would give us minus 3x, and x times minus 7 is minus 7x. Minus 3x plus minus 7x is minus 10x. So this is the combination we are looking for. So in order to multiply x times minus 3, we can put the minus 3 here, and to do x times minus 7, we can put the minus 7 here. And then our outer terms multiply to minus 3x, our inner terms multiply to minus 7x, and they would add together to give minus 10x. And we don't need to check the other possibilities. Depending on the pattern of plus and minus signs in the expression we have to factorize, the factorization process will work slightly differently. The important thing to remember is that your factorized form has to multiply out to give what you started with. Let's try a slightly different one. X squared plus 6x minus 16. So we're going to try writing two brackets. Again, to get x squared, we need to write x at the beginning of both brackets. Now we're going to make up the table, and we need two numbers that multiply together to give minus 16. There are actually quite a few possibilities. The only way we can get a negative answer is by multiplying a positive by a negative. So possibilities could be 1 times minus 16, 2 times minus 8, 4 times minus 4. And it carries on. We could also have minus 1 times 16, that's different, and minus 2 times 8. The table layout is an efficient way for you to check through all of these possibilities mentally without writing out lots and lots of working. So when I work through them, I will write what you get when you try each possibility. But when you do this in practice, you wouldn't need to write this out. So on the left side, we have to have x and x, and we have 5 possibilities on the right side. If we try the 1 and minus 16, x times 1 is plus x times minus 16 is minus 16x. Add those together, you get minus 15x. That doesn't work. We need plus 6x. Next one, x times 2 is plus 2x, x times minus 8 is minus 8x. Add those together, you get minus 6x. Close. We want plus 6x. That doesn't actually work. Just going to skip the next two because minus 2, 8 is very close, and if we try that one, it should work. X times minus 2 would give us minus 2x, and x times 8 would give us plus 8x. Add those together and we get plus 6x. Now one more thing to be careful about. When we put our answer back into the brackets, we need to make sure we put terms we multiply together in different brackets. If we want to multiply the x by the minus 2, we put the minus 2 in this bracket, and x times 8, we put the 8 in this bracket. Then our outer terms is minus 2x, our inner terms is plus 8x. In this case, because it's the same both sides, we have x on both sides, it may not seem to make much of a difference. But you will see it can make a difference in the next video. Let's look at one more example. So we have to factorize x squared minus 6x minus 7. Let's start by making up a table, and on the left side we need to write the terms that multiply to give x squared. The only possibility is x and x. Now there aren't so many possibilities this time. To get minus 7, it could be 7 times minus 1 or minus 7 times 1. Then we can put the two brackets and we can check both of these possibilities. So the beginning has to be x. The first terms have to be both x. If we said x times 7, that would give us plus 7x. X times minus 1 would give us minus x. Plus 7x minus x would give us plus 6x. That's wrong. We need minus 6x. So we'll try the other one. X times minus 7 would give us minus 7x, and x times 1 would give us plus x. Add those together, we get minus 6x. So to multiply the x by the minus 7, we put minus 7 over here, and to multiply the x by the 1, we put plus 1 over here. And that is our answer, x plus 1, x minus 7. In the next video, we will see the hardest type of trinomial factorization, where we have a number before the x squared.